Hey everyone, it's J Ivy. I'm better known as Nail Fertiti. You can follow me on Instagram at _Nail Fertiti, and on TikTok, it's just at Nail Fertiti. So for this video, I wanted to do something a little different. This video will be more of a watch me work as I answer some questions and DMs that I've gotten over the past couple weeks. And I also wanted to share a little bit of my nail journey so far. So I went to nail school in 2019 and I finished in September of 2019. And one question that I get a lot is, do I think that nail school was a good investment? My honest answer is no. Obviously, nail school is like the sole purpose of going to nail school really is to get your license. But I feel like with nail school, they really only taught me, at least the nail school that I went to, they really only taught me how to do a manicure. We didn't touch acrylic until like the last week of school, and we were only meeting 3 days a week, and nail school was only 3 months long. So yeah, I didn't really feel like I learned what I wanted to learn because I really wanted to learn acrylic application and, designs and stuff like that. For me, YouTube was an excellent teacher and also practice. YouTube and practicing a lot got me to where I am today. And another question that I get is, who did I follow on YouTube? Who did I watch on YouTube? One of the YouTubers that I can remember watching from the beginning was Natalie Carmona. I believe that's her name. I don't watch her anymore, but she was one of the main nail techs that I used to watch. And also Young Nails surprisingly gives good nail tips and nail information that I was following along with. And I also followed this one nail tech, this one white woman. I cannot remember her name, and the YouTube videos do not pop up in the US anymore for some reason. But I think her name was like Pink Cow Fairy, something crazy along those lines. She always did amazing nail art and like introduced me to a lot of different nail designs that you weren't seeing back in, I would say, like 2010 to 2012 when I first got interested in nail art and stuff like that. So after nail school, I took my first client in January of 2020. And that's the time that I tell people when they ask like, oh, when did you start doing nails? I just say January of 2020. So it's about to be my 3-year anniversary this upcoming January. I'm very excited about that. The question that I get asked a lot in my DMs are, what products did I use to first start? Where did I get those products? And also, do I have any tips for like new and nervous nail techs? The products that I used when I first started were mainly from either Amazon or Nail Supply Glamour, because they had really cheap products and that's all I could afford at the time. The products that I really, really liked using were Mia Secret. I still use Mia Secret clear acrylic to this day, and Mia Secret monomer. I also used Mia Secret, like their cover powder collection. And I would go to Nail Supply Glamour and get my colored powders. Some tips that I want to give to new and nervous beginner nail techs. I say nervous because when I first started taking clients, like that first client, I was so anxious the entire time. I feel like I barely said 2 words to the girl, and I know like the nails did not look that good. I think I also cut her a few times. Yeah, figuring out how to use that cuticle nipper properly and like find the part of the cuticle where it would not cut and where it's just like the dead skin versus the live skin, that was a struggle for me the first couple months of me doing nails. So some tips that I would give to new nail techs is practice. I know you probably hear that all the time, but practice really does help. It helps with building confidence, as well as it helps you to build your craft as well. I feel like building confidence is important in doing nails, because a lot of times, like, you're in your head thinking, oh, this looks a mess, or I can't do this, I can't do that. But like, once you become confident, doing the process of doing nails becomes a lot easier and it goes a lot smoother. Another thing I would say is probably invest in more quality products. I do still use Mia Secret, but their cover powders I don't like as much. I just don't like the consistency as much. The cover powders that I use now are pretty much all from Valentino. My favorite nude is Classic Nude from Valentino. The pink that I'm actually using in this video is Prettiest Pink from Valentino. I'm also using their Super White. To be very honest, I don't love the consistency of the Super White as much as I love Mia Secret's white acrylic, because I feel like this white acrylic just gets stuck in the nail brush a lot easier than Mia Secret's does. And the consistency of Mia Secret's is a little bit better. Yeah, and also buy your tips and nail glue and stuff like that from Amazon. You get them cheap, quick if you have Amazon Prime, and they're pretty much always readily available. I use the extra long taper square non-C-curve tips for when I'm doing a square shape, and I also have pre-shaped coffin tips for when I'm doing coffin nails or oval or stiletto. Actually, no, I use my square tips for my stiletto nails because it's easy for me to just use the nail scissors to cut that stiletto shape. Now I want to move on to pricing. Pricing is another question that I get a lot. And to be very honest, I still kind of struggle with what is the right price. When I first started doing nails, I was doing nails for maybe $25 to $50, but $50 could get you a lot with me when I first started. Now my average pricing of nails is between 80 to 100. For me, I feel like around March or April of 2020, that's when I started to get more consistently good. And also because of the pandemic and shutdown and stuff, I was also getting a lot of clients. So I felt the need to raise my prices a bit. And by the time I raised my prices, they were to 65. I was charging people $65 to maybe $80 for their nails, no matter what they got. Even if they got a full blinged out set, I would just say, oh, $65. I was very nervous to charge a higher price. And I was also buying Swarovski stones, using more expensive acrylics and stuff. And I was still charging a lower price. What I felt at the time was if I raise my price too much, I'm going to lose my clientele. And I feel like that's a legitimate fear, but I feel like that is just the way it goes on the journey of entrepreneurship. I always say raise your price and charge what you feel your worth is. Some clients won't be able to afford that, and I feel like that's just the way life goes. Sometimes I feel like people kind of devalue nails because products are not cheap. They're very expensive, and also not everyone is able to afford a Gucci bag. But nobody says, oh, lower the price of the Gucci bag so I can afford it. But a lot of people say, oh, lower the price of the nails so I can afford it. I feel like as a consumer, you just have to go to where your budget is. Not everybody is made to get their nails done by me because maybe my prices are too high for them. That's perfectly fine for me. But there are a lot of other people who are fortunate enough to afford that. So basically, my tip is raise your price and the clients who can't afford it will come. Some other tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you guys is use the blue paper towel. This blue paper towel is used by mechanics, and I usually get it from Walmart or a big, package from Sam's Club. And I usually get this in the auto section at Walmart and Sam's Club. And another thing is be mindful of the temperature of your monomer. If your monomer is too warm, it'll set very quickly, giving you less time to work with work the acrylic down the nail. And on the other hand, if your monomer is too cold, it won't set fast at all. It'll be very runny when you put it on the nail, and then it'll just be a lot more messy to work with. I say have your monomer, try to have it around like room temperature. And sometimes when it's cold, I work in the basement of my house, so it'd be a little bit cold down there. I put the monomer bottle in between my legs. Thick thighs save lives sometimes. So I meant to mention this earlier, but the number one tip that I want to give to beginner nail techs is to just do it. Just do it like Nike and kind of just throw your hat in the ring, because you can practice as much as you want, but I feel like the best experience that you will get and gain from your nail journey is by actually, taking clients, because not everyone, as you will realize, has the same nail beds, nail shape. Some people have bigger hands and smaller hands, and you will have to learn how to work around, that. And I mentioned before that my first client, I barely said 5 words to her. Doing nails is technically customer service, and you will need to talk to your client in order for them to be comfortable enough to come back to you. So I feel like over the years, you may not be a conversationalist. I'm not usually, super friendly, outgoing person, but I do know how to chat up a client, because you build that confidence. That's another thing that, you need confidence for, actually talking to people and like sharing yourself to people. But if you aren't much of a talker, I would say it's good to play movies or TV shows and have good music on while you work. So I love listening to music while I work because it gives me the most relaxed environment for me to do nails. And the music app that I use is Spotify. I always recommend Spotify to people because Spotify has very good playlists. Like, they make a lot of pre-made playlists that are 3-4 hours long, and you don't even have to worry about, making your own playlist and coming up with songs that people like and all of that, because that also could be a little stressful, figuring out who to play, what to play, and stuff like that. And also, if you have a favorite artist, you can just type their name into the search bar and the artist radio will pop up, which is a pre-made playlist that Spotify makes. I really love doing this, talking to you guys about my experience and my nail journey so far. Let me know in the comments if you have anything that you wanted me to expound on, or if you have any other questions. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my other socials as well. And have a beautiful, fantastic day.